Welcome to the Fantasy Football Prophet Podcast, hosted by Craig Phillips and Jeff Torrey. Visit us at fantasyfootballprophet.com. And now your hosts, Craig and Jeff.
Welcome everyone to the Fantasy Football Prophet Podcast. I'm Craig Phillips, joined as always by Jeff Torrey. And today we're doing our weekly recap of the NFL, all the Sunday games. It's week 5. We're going to run through them all again, see different things we've noticed. You're starting to see a little bit more, maybe consistency after 5 weeks, but not really, to be honest. NFL's been kind of all over the place, so not a lot of consistency. But we're going to run through this again, like we do every single Sunday. So let's jump into this first one. We'll start with the London game, Giants, Packers. They kicked us off this week. It's an early game. Giants win 27-22. Brian Daboll has this team playing pretty decent. Daniel Jones is just doing enough he's not hurting them right now. 217, no touchdowns, no picks though. But Saquon, 13 carries, 70 yards and a touchdown. He looks great. He also caught 3 for 36. Other touchdowns. Gary Brightwell ran one in, and so did the tight end Bellinger. Also, Daniel Bellinger ran one in. And then we know there's not much pass catchers here, but Slayton was the best of them with 6 for 79. But this is Saquon's show. It's all Saquon. But you know what? It's working right now. They're 4-1. And Saquon is possibly the best running back right now.
Yeah, it's fun to watch him back on top. And it is kind of wild that they don't have a prototypical type of offense at the moment. The fact that, last game they, ran the Wildcat. You can see that Saquon is what he should be, which is the primary back and the focal point. So I gotta give credit where credit's due, man. New York, they are playing well. 4-1. I thought that was a fluke when they started off so well. Right. Maybe not. Maybe their defense is good as it's it looks, and Saquon can really buoy a team. So coming back to the other side of it, Green Bay, who looks pretty good, and they got a really good start in this one. Aaron Rodgers had 2 touchdowns pretty much immediately, but then that's where he ended. 222 yards, 2 touchdowns. And, they went to Allen Lazard and Mercedes Lewis. Other than that, they didn't really get anything going.
Mercedes Lewis, 38-year-old Mercedes Lewis still out there playing. Yeah, just not a lot here. Cobb, 7 for 99 is the most. Aaron Jones, he gets himself 80 total yards. That's, you wish for more. AJ Dillon, not much. Yeah, it's just not great here. I don't know. The offense is not the same. The Packers offense is not the same. Aaron Rodgers is not a must start every week anymore. I'll say that. That's for sure. He's just not a must start. He's going to be started on good matchups, but until these receivers come around.
Yeah, I agree with you, but he's still doing enough to be startable.
He's startable, just not a must start.
Yeah, there's a lot of quarterbacks that are kind of doing the same thing he is right now. So
All right, let's go to the next one. Bills, Steelers. Bills just beat up on them 38-3. This was pretty easy. Josh Allen throws for 424, 4 touchdowns. 2 went to Gabe Davis, who only caught 3 balls for 171 yards. One was a 98-yarder. That's just a massive day. Diggs, 8 for 102 and a touchdown. Just keeps on doing it. Diggs, I believe he was the number 1 receiver in the league and for fantasy heading into the day, and that doesn't change things with another really good performance. And then Shakir got caught 1 for a touchdown. He had 3 for 75. On the ground, they didn't really have to go to Singletary at all, which is weird in a game of this kind of blowout. You only have 6 carries from your leading rusher, 6 for 42. James Cook, though, ran one in for a touchdown, but 4 for 31. They're just good, though. So they're good. I don't know what to say. It's Diggs is good. Allen's good. Gabe Davis, I think, is pretty good. So there we go. Steelers, though, it's kind of ugly. Pickett did throw for 327 yards, but no touchdowns.
And that is an interesting one, right? Because you're looking at Pickett and you're thinking, if he's the starter, how much value can I get out of this guy fantasy-wise? And they let him throw 52 times. Mm-hmm. Like, clearly they were getting beat up on. You have to throw the ball. But there's ramifications as far as this goes, right? If you're going to throw the ball that much and you think Pickett can get better, then first of all, in like a 2 QB league, is he worthwhile? Do you think that he's going to be able to get to a point where you can ever start him? I don't know how you feel about that.
Maybe super flex. They're going to be behind a lot, so they're going to throw the ball a lot. So possibly, yeah. It could happen.
The other two things happen. First, will this eventually help the wide receivers if their passing offense catches up a little bit? Because the rest of them, George Pickens led him 6 catches for 83 yards. Deontay Johnson, 5 for 60. Chase Claypool, 5 for 50. And then it goes down from there.
So,
I'd say the problem with this slush pile?
Problem with that, I think there's just still too many guys. Pickens is obviously, as a rookie, looking better and better, but I think there's too many guys. Too many guys. It's not going to be good enough offense. It's going to be catch-up mode. I think it's hard to play a lot of these guys.
And then what it comes down to is we mentioned this before, but Naji Harris, the whole thing was bulk in a game like this. Yeah. He's not going to get a lot, but 11 carries for 20 yards, and then he only caught 3 for 16. What is his fate like right now? I mean,
it's not looking good because he was always just a volume guy who caught a bunch of passes last year. He wasn't. I mean, I think we talked about it a little bit, like when we talked about ranks and stuff this season, where it was just the volume wise up there. It's not the talent. He's an okay talent. He's fine. He's above average, but he's not spectacular. And the team stuff's not good enough. It's going to be rough. And if you can trade him somehow still trade him because his name tried to do it, but I don't know who wants him.
Yeah, and I do think because of the name, someone would be desperate enough to try to get him because running back is rough to come by. But it's coming down to the point where I had a good enough team in one of my leagues where I have Naji, and I didn't have to start him, and I didn't, and I'm really glad. But now
he was only RB26 coming into the game.
Yeah, and now it becomes very difficult because that cannot stay the course, right? You will eventually have to play the guy. Mm-hmm. So now you're thinking, okay, I'm only going to play him in really good matchups. I'm not sure what to think about the guy at the moment. And would I rather have a deep threat wide receiver? At least he has an opportunity to catch a touchdown rather than Naji. Or is Naji still, hey, he's going to get 10, 15 touches a game. That'll be enough. Or is it not?
I don't think it's enough. I don't think they're good enough touches right now. I really don't. I'm not looking. I wouldn't want to play him. Wouldn't want to put him on my team right now. All right, let's go to Chargers. Browns. Chargers get the win here, 30-28. Herbert had not a good fantasy day because only the 1 touchdown, 228 yards, not much there. It was all Austin Eckler, this one. On the ground, he ran for 173 yards and a touchdown. He also caught 4 balls for 26 yards and a touchdown. So 199 yards and 2 touchdowns. Massive day for Eckler. Mike Williams goes 10 for 134. Josh Kelly actually plays decent amount, and he steals a touchdown on the ground, and he ends up with 82 total yards as well with a touchdown. So the offense is still pretty solid. Herbert, you would see this 30 points and all this and see Herbert would have a better day, but they just didn't need him to, I guess. They pulled off the win. Eckler's good, though. And Williams is good as long as Keenan Allen's not there yet. Keenan Allen still misses in now 4 straight weeks with that hamstring injury. Just can't get himself healthy.
I know. It worries me a little bit. I have both of them on my dynasty team. I love when Williams is doing well, and I would like to believe there's a world where when Allen comes back, they both can be, a good target. But I do worry that once he comes back, I'm going to get halved. Neither of them is going to be prolific. So It's great to see Mike Williams step up and do this while he can. And it's great to see Eckler actually have a game because he was starting to trend towards a little bit of a disappointment, even though we know he has all that talent. But man, they barely pull out this win. Kind of a surprising one by Cleveland, who has been actually very competitive. They
have for sure.
Because of our main man, Chubb. And once again, he does an unbelievable job. 17 carries, 134 yards for 2 touchdowns. I mean, give me a break, people. When are we just finally going to give this guy his due?
Oh, Jeff, he didn't catch any passes. I'm sorry.
Shouldn't be. Yeah, I know. We actually will hear that. I get it, but no, I don't care. If he keeps doing this, I not care.
I didn't understand it, people. Like, what were you thinking? I got Nick Chubb. I'm looking at a draft in one of the expert league drafts we did. I got Eckler in the 1st round. I got Nick Chubb in the 3rd. I mean, I just threw Eckler and Chubb at him today. Like, come on, you guys gave that to me. Like, what are you doing? Like, Chubb was always this good. I didn't understand it, but another guy who's actually pretty good this year, David Njoku's playing a lot better here.
And we were just talking about him too.
Yeah, 6 for 88, and I mean 6 for 88, 5 for 73 in the week before, and 9 for 89 the week before. That's 3 straight solid weeks at tight end. That's about, again, he's top 10. He's a startable tight end every single week right now.
And you start wondering too. Amari Cooper has actually been kind of a breath of fresh air for the most part. He is up and down still, but
You'll have those games,
thing.
right?
Right.
But 3 of the last 4 have been
touchdown.
good. 3 of the last 4 have been good. Yeah.
That's more than he usually does. It's usually just, amazing 1, terrible for 4, amazing 1. So I really like seeing this. And I start wondering what this team will look like eventually with a new quarterback, or maybe Brissett is good for the team. I don't know. And that'll be the big question mark. But the other people, Kareem Hunt, 11 carries for 47 yards and a touchdown. He also added 3 catches for 10 yards. Donovan Peoples-Jones, 4 for 50. So that's kind of where they end up. They came up on the short end of the stick, but I'm kind of impressed with a couple of these guys, and they're turning into pretty decent players as far as fantasy value.
Yeah. All right, let's jump to Vikings Bears. Vikings win 29-22. Cousins throws for 296 and a touchdown. The 1 touchdown went to Jalen Reagor. It was actually it counts as a pass. It was a little pitch type thing, but it was kind of actually a neat little play. Where Reagor gets the 1 touchdown. Justin Jefferson, though, 12 catches, 154 yards. So Justin Jefferson has had a 9 for 184. Then he had the 6 for 48 and the 3 for 14. We didn't know what happened. Then he goes 10 for 147 and 12 for 154 the last 2 weeks. Unreal. The guy's
he is unreal, but it will be interesting. He's not a guaranteed. I mean, you're playing him no matter what. Do not, mix my words, but it is kind of funny because I feel like for as much as they target him, there's certain teams that he will run roughshod over. And then there's a few that have the manpower in order to shut him down. And you just put all your manpower towards him and, Osborne, someone else will catch a touchdown, but trying to make sure he doesn't damage you as much as 154.
It might be just those teams that really just they wanted him out of the game. They just completely schemed to take him out, and they did. But his 3 other games have been massive. So and Dalvin Cook had a big one here, 94 yards on the ground with 2 touchdowns. He also caught 27 yards worth of passes. So it's a really solid day for Cook there as well. For the Bears, Fields was better. This was his best game. 15-21, 208, and a touchdown, for sure his best game. The touchdown went to Bayless Jones. Not even close, but easily.
No, and he had 8 carries for 47 yards too. So they're starting to kind of do what he's comfortable doing, which is wonderful.
Yeah, I say the rookie Bayless Jones gets the touchdown on 1 for 9. On the ground, Fields did lead him with 47 yards as well. He actually had a running touchdown that got called back. So that would have been even a bigger day. David Montgomery comes back only with 12 carries for 20 yards and a touchdown. The touchdown saves him, and it is 62 yards receiving, right? So he had 82 yards and a touchdown. It looks a lot better than what it actually was. For fantasy-wise, it looks like a solid day, but he's just not that good. He's just not that good anymore on the ground. And Mooney catches a 39-yard pass, which makes him go 2 for 52 on the day. How about Patriots Lions? My God. What was this?
Why is it every week
we talk about the Lions are the best offense in the league? I mean, scoring wise.
We did know that was probably due to come down a bit.
Yeah, but this
go down to 0. What?
Oh my God. I don't even, I mean, there's nothing to talk about the Lions. It's just all bad. There's literally not a takeaway. I mean, I guess Josh Reynolds was 6 for 92, but it's just, I don't know, whatever. It was bad. Patriots. Bailey Zappi. I mean, this is even worse. They were going against a 3rd string rookie, 6th round, whatever rookie quarterback. He throws for 188, a touchdown and a pick. The 1 touchdown went to Jacoby Myers, who had 7 for 111. Damien Harris left this one with an injury, so it's going to be interesting to see how long this is, because if it's not, Ramondre Stevenson's going to get a real shot. And this one, he went 25 carries, 161. And I mean, anybody can do this to the Lions. So Rashad Penny had a massive day last week, but Stevenson, when he plays, he's awesome. He can really play. We'll see. I don't know the injury status currently on Harris. So if he's out, though, Stevenson becomes a really good play for next week.
Yeah, and Jacoby Myers, 7 catches, 111 yards, and a touchdown. He was the only other person.
Basically,
good for him, I guess. But once again, I don't know what that tells me.
Play everybody against the Lions. I think Lions. I think they have a bye week coming up this week, so we'll see what happens after the bye week. All right, Saints, Seahawks, and Saints win 39-32 behind tight end Taysom Hill. I know there's a lot of talk on this, or people are upset about Taysom Hill getting all these tight end points. So Taysom Hill, 1 for 1 throwing for 22 yards and a touchdown. He runs in 3. 9 for 112 and 3 touchdowns.
That was the best one too. Is we played him in the Scott Fish Bowl.
Yes,
so what up?
At tight end, it's amazing.
It was like 41 points.
It's amazing.
What's up.
He is interesting at tight end. I mean, it's like if you have him, just throw him in there, and like some weeks you might not get anything, and others it's going to be this. It's a weird thing. But Taysom Hill, very interesting.
Tight end gets 41 points for us, and he doesn't catch a single ball. Doesn't catch us anything.
I don't even think he had a target. Not a single target.
That's so good.
But this is the Alvin Kamara game right here. This is what this guy used to do, right? 103 yards on the ground, 91 through the air off 6 receptions, no touchdowns. But hey, we'll take it, right? We'll take this is a step up finally in the right 100%. Direction. 194 total yards. And
without a doubt.
Chris Olave in this one, he goes 454, gets a touchdown. He was really starting to look good again. The guy's awesome rookie, and then he got slammed to the ground, knocked out of the game with a concussion. So hopefully he doesn't miss too much time, but he's a good player. I'll say he's a good player for sure. Seahawks side of things, Geno Smith, even in a loss, he's better than Russell Wilson. I'll give him that. So
sadly, he's playing better.
268.
268 and 3 touchdowns. Like, what am I going to say? He absolutely is playing better.
Lockett caught 2 of them, 5 for 104 and 2 touchdowns. Metcalf caught the other 5 for 88 and a touchdown on the ground. So Penny, I believe, left this one with an injury. I'm trying to see if there's any update on this. It says Penny sustained, this is from earlier today. Pete Carroll said Penny sustained a serious injury to his lower left leg and may be out a while. So there goes Penny. And
so this happens every year.
Yep. So Kenneth Walker comes in, 8 for 88 and a touchdown, but it was a 69-yard touchdown. So his other 7 carries were still only 19 yards, but he should get the opportunity now. So this is going to be very interesting. It sucks that happened to Penny, but it feels like we've been waiting for this. Walker was going to get his shot one way or another, we felt like, and here it is. Right.
Yeah. And I will caution against this because this is kind of going to it is exactly what we said was going to happen. The only thing that could be a little bit different is I don't know how many carries are actually available to the Seahawks.
True. They're down a lot.
They're trailing a lot. Kenneth Walker only had 8 carries. Rashad Penny only had 8. I don't think that they're only going to run Kenneth Walker. So I worry that he'll only get 12 carries or something, and it won't be enough. Yep. And both of these running backs were gouging the Saints, eventually if they got enough. So I'm hoping that this is where Kenneth Walker steps up, and I can say that we were right leading into the year, but hopefully they get more carries. So we'll find out if that actually happens.
All right. How about Jets Dolphins? Jets win this thing 40-17. So Teddy Bridgewater gets knocked out of this one with a concussion. So the Dolphins have to go to their 3rd string quarterback, Skylar Thompson, but that doesn't account for giving up 40 points to the Jets. So Zach Wilson, okay, 14, 21, 210, no touchdowns, but that's okay. But Breece Hall, 197 total yards. He had 18 carries for 97 yards and a touchdown, 2 catches for 100. That one, he got down on the 1 yard line on the 79-yarder, and then Michael Carter punched it in. Actually, Michael Carter gets 2 touchdowns on the day, 10 for 21 and 2 touchdowns. Braxton Berrios runs one in, and Zach Wilson runs one in. So 5 rushing touchdowns. Breece Hall only gets one of them, but 197 total yards. Breece Hall is really coming on. And the team is good enough, actually, to give him 18 carries. So that's a step up for sure.
Yeah, they knew exactly what they're trying to do here. Zach Wilson is not ready to throw the ball 40 times, and that is fine. He doesn't have to. New York Giants are doing the same darn thing. Yep. And look, Michael Carter got 10 carries. He didn't do a whole lot with it. He got, he did get the touchdown. He's fine. He's a good backup running back. But if Breece Hall can continue this, he's going to be that guy that we talked about trying to trade for him. Mm-hmm. It's going to make it harder and harder, right? No one's going to want to get rid of him now.
You had to get him. You had to get him before this week. Now his price is up there. It's way up there now. It's probably impossible to get him. But
and Miami is they're having their own struggles at the moment as well. You're kind of New York caught them at a good week to get this done.
So it took a while here, Jeff, but in our main league, my Breece Hall, Ramondre Stevenson backfield is feeling much better today.
It took a minute, but you did get there.
Finally getting there. And then this one, the other receivers, Corey Davis only was 2 for 38, and Garrett Wilson 3 for 27, so not a lot there. for the Dolphins, like we said, they had Skylar Thompson in, so you don't expect much. But Raheem Mostert had a really solid day, 113 yards on the ground and a touchdown. And
I started him as well in my flex. Raheem Mostert is one of those guys that if he's healthy, I love having him on my team, but he is kind of like Rashad Penny, where I'm just waiting for him to get hurt. And
I'm watching the Bengals here. Oh, they're in the red zone. He's completely taken the job from Edmonds. It's not a split even. It's nothing. No. It's completely Mostert now. So that's good for him. Hey, if he's going to get that many carries, it could be interesting. We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, this one, it was Skylar Thompson again. Like you said, at quarterback, you can't really judge Hill and Waddle in this one. It's just disappointing days because of it.
Yeah, I do have to say this, with them being on the third quarterback, I do appreciate that Tyreek Hill still caught 7 balls for 47 yards. Yeah. That's the most you can hope for him. They still tried to get him the ball. So, that does bode well for him.
All right, Falcons win 21-15. They're not really dominating this year, though. I'll say that. They're struggling slightly, but they're still 3-2, right?
Yeah, they're exactly where they need to be, though.
Yeah,
you want them to be worse if you're in their division or something, because they're this close to just turning it back around.
Yep. Brady throws for 351 and a touchdown. Leonard Fournette 14 carries, 56 yards and a touchdown. He caught 10 balls for 83 yards and a touchdown. So a really big day for Fournette. Evans was 4 for 81, just missed a touchdown. Godwin 6 for 61. Hey, well, it's they win the game, right? And Fournette, big day for Fournette. Falcon side of things, Mariota 147 and a touchdown. On the ground, we didn't know how this would happen, what would happen without Patterson, right? It is Algier getting the most of the carries with 13 for 45. I mean, Mariota leads the team with rushing with 61 yards. Then Algier gets 13 for 45. Huntley gets 8 for 34, but the rushing touchdown went to the fourth stringer, whatever you want to call him. Avery Williams, who goes 3 for 11 with that touchdown. There was no Kyle Pitts in this one. Drake London goes 4 for 35. It's not a great offense. Try to avoid using anybody from that team, to be honest. That's where I'm at. I like Drake London as a prospect, but it's not a great offense.
No.
Titans Commanders. Titans win 21-17. Derrick Henry, it's a volume day that gets him a really good fantasy output. 28 carries, 102. So only 3.6 yards per carry, but 2 touchdowns, right? And he caught 2 passes for 30 yards. So 132 yards and 2 touchdowns. It's a really good fantasy day because of that. Tannehill, 181 and a touchdown. The 1 touchdown went to the backup running back, Hilliard. Robert Woods was 4 for 37 in this one. They don't really have much to throw the ball to at all either, but they win, right? That's how they like to win. And then Commander side of things, Wentz, he throws for 359 and 2 touchdowns. Both touchdowns go to Diami Brown. I loved him last year before the season, and nothing happened with it. And he catches 2 bombs today, or 1 bomb and then another 30-yarder. I don't think this really brings much. I mean, he's going to get some deep shots, right? But it was interesting. Just took touchdowns away from other guys like Terry McLaurin, who's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I feel terrible for Terry. I think that he's better than an average wide receiver, but that's what you're in purgatory, buddy.
Well, and then on the ground, Brian Robinson comes back, right? Didn't do anything. 9 carries, 22 yards, but Antonio Gibson is non-existent.
I was going to say, and also the fact that he got shot and he played this week is wild to me. Like, it's still wild. You have to feel good that he's healthy enough to get out there and carry the ball 9 times. Like, you're going to have to get the rust off. Obviously he's a young guy. So that it definitely, I mean, if you own him or, you're looking for a running back, if he's still on the waivers or whatever, to pick him up. But yeah, if you have Antonio Gibson, you have to be like, oh shit. Like,
you can't do anything with him.
The floor just got pulled out from under.
He is very close to just droppable at this point. I mean, if you wanted to drop him, I mean,
I'm not ready to go there just because it feels way too. Yeah, I'm waiting for one big game and then try to get anything out of him. But
I don't know if you'll have that.
I don't either. I don't know. But he did. I mean, he caught 3 catches for 33 yards. You have to pray that he's involved in the pass game.
Yeah. All right. Texans Jaguars. Texans get their first win, 13-6. Jacksonville. The beginning of last week, when they were up 14-0 or whatever on Philly, we thought, wow, this team might be good, and they're not. So that was short-lived.
and they're not.
It was short-lived. For Texans, Davis Mills 140, no touchdowns, no picks. It's the rookie running back who's getting all the work. 26 carries, 99 yards. So again, not amazing, but he gets a touchdown. So there you go. right? 113 total yards and touchdowns. Really solid. But they're not throwing the ball enough. Brandon Cooks isn't really doing much. 4 for 20 in this. Nico Collins led the way, 4 for 65. For Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence, 286, no touchdowns, 2 picks. On the ground, Travis Etienne was the better back in this one. 10 carries, 71 yards, 3 catches, 43 yards. James Robinson, 10 carries, 27 yards. And I don't know. Like, James Robinson's just not the guy. I'm sorry, guy. I'm sorry. A lot of people on Twitter I'm noticing, like, oh, the Jacksonville doesn't know what they're doing. They're not playing James Robinson. He's so good. No, he's not. Sorry, he's not. He's just not.
Yeah, we'll have to. I'm interested as much as everyone else to find out how they move forward. Yep. I was wrong to begin with. I thought Etienne was going to get definitely the more of the load.
But he's getting more and more. More and more.
I mean, it's not pretty. I will 100%. It is not pretty. No. The team is not doing well. I mean, luckily they're 2-3 at the moment, but I do still think that people will stop looking at them and Etienne will be kind of like dubbed as a bust, like for fantasy. And I still hold out hope that, because even today, I mean, 71 yards rushing and then another 43, like he had a fine day.
He did.
But touchdowns are going to be rough to come by. So what does that mean? I don't know. It'll be very interesting if they can turn this around, especially with Trevor Lawrence. You desperately want to get him some touchdowns to get him moving in the right direction.
Yep, for sure. So the passing game there, it came into this day with thinking Kirk and Zay Jones are the 1 and 2, right? And Kirk goes 1 for 11 and Jones 3 for 12, or Zay Jones 3 for 12, and Marvin Jones comes in and catches 7 for 104, and Ingram 6 for 69. So just the NFL for you. 49ers, Panthers. 49ers beat up on the Panthers 37-15. No surprise here at all. The spread was only 6.5. I jumped all over that. I don't know how it was only 6.5. It was an easy one. Garoppolo 253, 2 touchdowns. Touchdowns went to Tevin Coleman, and Deebo Samuel catches 1, but Tevin Coleman in there stealing a touchdown. Jeff Wilson, though, on the ground, 17 carries, 120 yards, and a touchdown. Really solid. But then Tevin Coleman ran 1 in 2. So Tevin Coleman comes in here and gets 67 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he's a good fantasy day, but you'll never play the guy. So, but there we go. The leading receiver for yardage was actually Brandon Ayuk with 58 yards, but only off 3 receptions. Kittle 5 for 47, but they just ran it.
Yeah, we are back to last year's 49ers team where it is the passing offense is going to be here and all over the place a little bit, but man, they're going to run the ball and Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be, efficient. So we'll find out what happens. But the other side, the exact opposite.
The Panthers suck. Baker Mayfield's not good. I thought he was better than this. He's not. He's bad. But McCaffrey, even on a bad team, gets himself 104 total yards and a touchdown, right? And 7 catches. So if you're in your PPR, it's even better. McCaffrey he's making stuff work on a bad team. Yeah, that's basically it. And DJ Moore is a disappointment because his quarterback sucks.
I joked that the other wide receiver is in purgatory, but that means DJ Moore's in hell. He is 100% just. I feel bad for the guy.
He feels Odell Beckham's pain. He definitely feels Odell.
Exactly.
He does. All right. How about this? Dallas versus the Rams. And Cooper Rush just does not lose football games. The guy's 5-0 as a starter in the NFL. 4-0 this year, 1-0 last year. He doesn't lose. He just doesn't lose. But he was only 10 for 16 and 102. So there's no QB controversy, but he just doesn't lose.
I can't wait for Dak to come back and lose his first game out. And everyone right? Like, give me Rush, man.
Cooper Rush never loses. On the ground here, Tony Pollard, 8 carries, 86 yards, a touchdown. He had a long one that boosts those numbers. Zeke runs the ball, though, 22 times for a whopping 78 yards. But that's all they had to do. They just ran it. They didn't want to throw the ball much. The Rams didn't make them throw the ball much, and that was all that happened. CeeDee Lamb, 5 for 53, and Gallup 4 for 44, because it just did not need to do anything at all through the air. The Rams, Matt Stafford. How's it feel? How's it feel to be losing? You're now 2-3. The Lions have your pick. Makes me feel better about the 0 points we put up today. But Stafford, 308, touchdown, and a pick. The touchdown, though, was a bomb, 75-yarder to Cooper Kupp, who goes 7 for 125 because of that. So it's a good day there. On the ground, Akers leads the way with 13 for 33. It's pretty ugly, but Henderson doesn't even get a carry.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, just not a good day for the Rams. I don't know what they are. That was bad.
Yeah, and isn't it funny that the teams right now, like last year was the high-flying teams, offense. Now it feels like the teams like New York Giants, Dallas Cowboys, like they're San Fran. You're hammering the run and you're just not turning the ball over. I don't think that can keep going. But right now it is a very strange NFL landscape.
It is. It's very odd this year. All right, the final one here: Cardinals. Eagles squeak out a win here, 2017, because Kyler Murray's a moron. To be honest, I don't think we saw the end of that game. Well, it's third. It's second down, right? 2nd and 10. Kyler scrambles. He has a first down, no problem, and slides 1 yard short. And then they get up and spike it. So now it's 4th and 1. Just like that. Should have been a first down with 30 seconds left. And instead, you slide a yard short, you spike the ball, and now it's 4th down and your kicker misses the field goal.
Yeah, I mean, this is why you shouldn't give out the details of his contract either, about him not paying attention and whatnot, because maybe this was just he gave himself up a little too early. Maybe it's an honest mistake, but now like you watch that and you're kind of like, come on,
what are you
like,
doing?
What
did you see what he wore to the game this morning?
No, I didn't. I missed that whole thing. I'll have to look it up. It's just annoying. I don't know. What was it?
We look for reasons to not like.
Yeah, that's the problem. I don't know why you would ever let that information out about his contract, because now I'm looking for reasons.
Let's see if I can get this in. You can't.
Was that just a lime green suit?
It is.
I mean, yeah. No, that's funny because he wears that and you're kind of like, whatever. And then you slide a yard short and then you're kind of
it's whatever, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
But as soon as you lose, then all of a sudden you are looking for a reason.
Like, what are you doing, man? You're an idiot.
You're worried about.
I like Kyler though.
What are you doing?
I like Kyler. I love watching the guy play, and just little things like that. It's like, man, you're not helping yourself.
Well, he could be so.
I know.
Good.
They need to. I know what they really only 4 carries for him. They need to. The end of whatever game, I remember who it was now a couple weeks ago, when he was just scrambling around and doing whatever he could. It was fun to watch, and they were tough. They were they were going down the field and scoring because of it. They need to just unleash him more. But let's say Eagles side first. Hurts only throws for 239, no touchdowns, no picks, but he runs 2 of them in. So just keeps being a great fantasy player here. 61 on the ground with 2 touchdowns. Goddard 8 for 95. Devontae Smith 10 catches for 87. AJ Brown only 3 for 32 in this one, and then Miles Sanders 15 for 58 on the ground. So yeah, the Cardinals, Murray, he threw for 250, a touchdown, a pick. But yeah, like I said, only 4 carries. I really think they should use him more that way. That is what's dynamic about it. Yeah, he's an okay passer, but he's one of the most special talents when it comes to running around.
Yeah, and that opens up the passing ability as well. How many times do you see him run around, get out of the pocket, do all this, and then throw a bomb? And it is kind of funny watching Jalen Hurts and Kyler Murray, because if I had to pick, I'm kind of like, obviously they have very similar skill sets. They both are insane athletes, dynamic. They can throw, they can run, but they are playmakers at heart, and that's why they're so dangerous. And then you watch one get the win, and because it kind of feels like, who's actually doing better? Because Kyler does feel like the more talented quarterback.
He does. And maybe it's a coach. Maybe Kingsbury just can't do it, and it's possible.
I don't know. I mean, I like Kingsbury too, but they obviously are not on the same page completely yet. And I will say our boy Marquis Brown
got a nice touchdown,
78 and a touchdown. He keeps doing his thing, so that's nice. But Connor, 9 carries for 55 yards. He gets 1 catch for 8 yards. It continues the trends we have been talking about.
Yep. Rondale Moore comes back healthy in this one, and actually he's involved with 7 catches, 68, so that's solid. But yeah, I don't know. I think this offense could be so much more than it is, and it's actually disappointing because I think Kyler's a good player. I think he could be an awesome fantasy player. And
I still enjoy having him on I have him for one of my fantasy teams. This is why I get so upset with him too, because I'm like, you should be in the top 3.
And don't wear the green suit, man. Come on.
No, you can wear any color you want if you throw a couple of touchdowns. But.
That's true. Let's do that. But all right, that'll do it then for today. If you're looking for some waiver wire pickups, we'll have it out on YouTube. So if you're listening just to the podcast, go check us out on YouTube as well, youtube.com/fantasyfootballprofit. We'll have some waiver wire picks out for you as well. Other than that, be ready for the mailbag show in a couple days. Get your questions in for us. Talk to you guys then.